Smoked trout is expensive, the kind of expensive that makes you question your life choices. Fresh trout, much cheaper. And if you catch your own, well, congratulations, you achieved the highest level of frugality. Today I'll show you how to turn these humble fish into glorious, smoky, tender and briny gold for a fraction of the cost. Smoking fish is one of the oldest preservation methods known to mankind. Before refrigeration, people used air, smoke and salt to keep their food from turning into a mushy mess. Fish can be dried, dry brined or wet brined. Dry brining is easier to apply, but it takes a lot longer. Wet brining gives you unparalleled juiciness because it retains the moisture. So today we bathe our fish. Why brine, you ask? Salt is magic. It pulls moisture out, but then it penetrates back in and retains moisture. That leads to a firmer texture, and that fish won't disintegrate the moment you look at it wrong. Before we bathe the fish, they must be cleaned properly. This is already done. I bought these fish in the store. Make certain there is no blood vein along the spine here and that there are no gills. Both lead to really bad flavors. This is a classic wet brine. The foundation, of course, is salt. No need for nitrate salt here. Aromatics, aka spices, a couple bay leaves and some garlic. First step is to crush the spices. I'm using a pestle and mortar for this. And I said crush, don't pulverize. Pulverize will turn it into a bitter mess, so you don't want the bitter. Crush them a little so that the oils come out. I'm using this huge Tupperware bowl for brining. I know it holds 4.5 quarts, so that's the amount of water I'm bringing to a boil back here. For the garlic, no need to push it through a press. Just mash it up a little with a knife. Give it a hard whack. And then maybe a couple of cuts, but even that isn't necessary. That's already all the knife we need. My water is almost at a boil, so all the aromatics go in. Bay leaves, garlic, of course all the spices, and last but not least the right amount of salt. You need 60 grams of salt per liter of water, so that's a 6% brine. Give this a quick stir, bring it back up to a boil, turn it off and let it steep until it's cold. The brine must be completely cold. Fish proteins denature at a surprisingly low temperature. Therefore, a warm brine equals accidental poaching, and that makes for mushy fish. We want firm, structural fish, not trout pudding. Into the brine they go. Make sure each fish is submerged. If one floats up, make sure you push it down. If resistance persists, use a weight. A plate would work, or a clean rock would work, or a wooden plank would work. You get the picture. Make sure there's no air in the belly, so we get a proper brine from all sides. I kept a little brine to make sure it doesn't overflow, so now I can pour some extra brine on top. Since it's almost to the rim, nothing will ever float up. Seal it up or cover it with a foil or whatever, whichever container you have, and put it in your fridge for 10 to 12 hours. Overnight is the usual method. After 10 to 12 hours, the fish should look something like this, a little bit firmer and maybe a little bit tinted from the spices. Time to rinse these guys off. Normally I would do this under running water, but then you wouldn't see anything about it. So I'm just using a bowl of water to rinse them off. And let's prepare some towels. After rinsing, you need to dry them. Why we rinse, you ask? Because surface salt creates surface harshness. We want the interior seasoning and the moisture, not the crunchy salt on the outside. It's not a potato chip. Water on the surface blocks smoke adherence. So whenever you smoke anything, be that fish or meat or whatever it is, it needs to be dry or at least have a pellicle that's slightly sticky. You don't want to smoke anything that's wet because essentially the soot particles adhere to whatever it is you're smoking, and that's just horrible flavor. Yeah, time to dump this. And time to dump the brine too. It's no good for anything else now. Now we hang the fish and dry the fish. This allows a pellicle to form. A pellicle is that slightly sticky protein layer that smoke really loves to adhere to. I dry them out on the inside with some paper towel. For hanging, I'm using stainless hooks. There's different varieties. This is a double hook version, which works well for pretty much anything. There's specific fish hooks that have like single or double hooks on them. You can even use a piece of string around the neck and through the mouth of the fish. Works too. So I just get through the mouth here. And if you use double hooks, make sure you get one on the one side of the spine and the other on the other side of the spine. And there it is. If the method you're using to hook the fish does not leave the belly open, maybe just use a toothpick or something to actually pry it open, because you want the air to circulate through here. 3 to 5 hours in a cool, well-ventilated place. No heat, no sun, no cats, and no flies. You can do something about the first 3. Flies tend to be a little bit of an issue. Not necessarily this time of year. It's December, so you might be pretty fly-free in your garage or wherever you hang them. If you're not, or if you just want to make sure, I'm using these kind of things. So these are, I think, produce shopping bags. They're a very fine mesh, and I've used them for all sorts of things to hang in my garage, because these, of course, keep any flies or whatever out. You put the fish in, you close it around it. Well, I only have 4 of them, so the 2 smaller ones will have to share. Perfect little package, protected from flies. You will see the skin go from wet to dull and slightly sticky, not moist as it is now. And at that point, you know, it's ready to go into the smoker. Yes, this is a galvanized steel smoker. No, I'm not trying to poison anyone. Galvanization becomes dangerous only if heated above 350 degrees Fahrenheit. We will be smoking at 230. As long as the fire or heating element is suspended and not directly heating the metal, everything remains safe, civilized, and food grade. Just keep any fire away from the steel itself. Smoking is low and slow. Galvanized surfaces never come close to danger zone temperatures. Of course, if you're uncomfortable using a galvanized DIY smoker, there's plenty of commercial options on the market, and you could also do it in a large wooden box, for which the same applies. No direct fire on the wood. We are smoking fish, not celebrating New Year's. For the wood, beech would be the authentic German profile. Applewood produces a sweeter American bent. Hickory, I'd use that for brisket, not fish. Cold smoking preserves and flavors, but does not cook. Hot smoking does all 3, preserves, flavors, and cooks. Today, we are hot smoking. Trout go in with enough space between them for air circulation. Smoke needs to flow. If they touch, you get pale spots, the culinary equivalent of a farmer's tan. At 230 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 minutes, the skin tightens and the fat begins to liquefy under the surface. So we begin at 230, high enough to set the surface, low enough to avoid turning your smoker into a fish crematorium. After 15 minutes, we lower to 195 to finish cooking through. Depending on the size of the fish, 20 to 30 minutes will do the trick. This is what they should look like. And of course, the flesh needs to be firm and not mushy. And the smell, of course, should be nice and smoky. The doneness test, which you would do at the smoker, is the dorsal fin. If you can pull that clean out, the fish is done. Should look like this. Little bit of meat on it, all the bones come out. Cooling is not optional. If you wrap these things while they're still hot, condensation will form and you'll have a fish steam bath. Stored properly, wrapped in cloth or a paper towel, they will store for up to 10 days in the fridge. For long-term storage, fillet it, put it into a vacuum bag and freeze it. When you thaw it, do that in the fridge. Do not pop this into a microwave or a hot water bath. That will just give you grief. Time for the true scientific test. Let's see how it tastes. Look at how beautiful the meat is. I like to pull off the skin in the belly. Moist, not wet. Smells really nice. It's firm. Gentle smoke. Savory. Hints of juniper berry. Just like we wanted. Put these on a cracker with a little bit of horseradish whipped cream on top and you have a party favorite. You can serve this on rye bread, with potatoes, with pasta, with salad. Or stand at your fridge at midnight and munch away. Nobody's judging. There's a whole playlist of other German recipes waiting for you. Like, subscribe and hit that little bell while I keep eating.